New DLC just dropped? You know what that means. It's time for your favorite Draft League player to tell you all about his bad opinions.
That's me. I'm the Draft League player with bad opinions.
Today, we're going to be going over the top 5 best returning Pokemon in regards to Pokemon Draft League. If you guys do enjoy today's video, be sure to drop a like as well as sub to the channel. We are on our way to 3,000 subs by the end of the year, and we're getting so close. And if everybody watches today, subs will smash that goal. So I would really appreciate it if you help me out. Now, with that being said, let's jump into the video. Now, on to some ground rules. To keep this video short, sweet, and digestible for your Subway Surfer slime video brains, we will be sticking to the top 5 Pokemon returning. On top of that, we won't be mentioning any obviously banned Pokemon, like Zekrom or Blaziken. Do not allow him. Why do leagues keep allowing Speed Boost Blaziken? Obviously, with only 5 slots, we'll have some Pokemon that are great, just missing out. I'll shout out some honorable mentions later on in the video. Rules out of the way, let's jump into number 5. At number 5, we have the premier Sand Sweeper of the format in Excadrill. Sand offense has always been an incredibly popular playstyle in Draft League, at least until Scarlet and Violet. The reason it hasn't been super popular this generation is there just really aren't any great sand abusers. The only ones that come to mind are Lycanroc Midday and non-Last Respect's Houndstone. I say this because 99% of leagues ban the move. This all changes with Big Drill returning. With the Swords Dance, Sand Rush, and its very powerful dual stab combination, Excadrill could beat most teams with ease after just a little bit of setup and damage prior. This becomes even more prevalent when you consider Terra in the equation. Terra Flying is great to gain a resistance to fighting and immunity to ground, as well as getting Terra Blast Flying to nuke through grass types that typically check you really well. Sweeping Understand isn't the only thing Drill excels at. It's also a phenomenal Stealth Rock setter and remover with Rapid Spin. Spin also gives Drill the benefit of a speed boost, which can be great outside of sand. Mold Breaker also lets it break through would-be checks like Rotom Wash. Heck, there are even instances where you can rock with a Sand Force set, electing for insane power under sand in exchange for the speed boost. Excadrill has many great partners that help facilitate it and that it gets facilitated by. Tyranitar and Hippowdon are givens, as they're the only sand setters in the decks. Though I do think Tyranitar is the better of the two in regards to supporting Excadrill, as Hippo really struggles with the same mon that Drill does, and therefore struggles getting Drill in to do anything meaningful. A Pokemon returning in the Indigo Disk that pairs phenomenally with Drill is Latios. Drill makes swift work of any Latios checks in Fairies and Steels, and Latios resists all the mons that Drill struggles with. I've actually won a championship with that core in particular in Sword and Shield. You can check out that playlist on the channel. Another video I'd recommend is the one that my buddy Keegan made on Sand Offense in Generation 9 Draft League. I'm going to link that in the description below for you to check out. Next up, we have one of the single most versatile Pokemon in the format in Necrozma. Often in draft, role compression will make or break a Pokemon's viability. Necrozma is the epitome of this, only rivaled by fellow bulky Psychic-type Mew. Necro can function as a great setup sweeper with Calm Mind or Dragon Dance. Prism Armor, its ability that makes super effective attacks only hit for 3/4 of their usual damage, allows Necrozma here to find a ridiculous amount of setup opportunities. It can also be a very powerful breaker with Swords Dance or even Life Orb / Choice Spec sets. It has incredible coverage, getting access to Earthquake, Earth Power, Heat Wave, Knockoff, Exeter, Meteor Beam, and much more. All of these move alongside its incredible signature move in Photon Geyser, a 100 base power psychic attack that not only ignores abilities, but also attacks from either the physical or special side depending on which is the highest for Necrozma's stats, makes Necrozma an incredible jack of all trades. I mean, geez, I even forgot to mention it gets both Morning Sun for recovery and Stealth Rock to set up hazards. The Morning Sun option in particular actually gives it a niche benefit over Mew this generation, the versatile psychic type. This thing really can do everything. It did lose both Autotomize and Toxics, which were common moves on movesets, but I think this minimally affects Necrozma's viability. Especially if your league allows Terra on this. I mean, can you imagine a Terra Fairy Necrozma? No thank you. Necro is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon used in Draft League, and I am so hyped it has finally re-entered the metagame. Coming in at number 3, we have Kyurem. Base Kyurem, not the big broken guys, they're scary. Kyurem was originally going to be much higher on this list, but losing Roost is a big blow to its versatility and viability. That's not to say Kyurem will be bad though. No, quite the contrary. Ice and Dragon is an incredible stab combination. Just look at how dominant Baxcalibur has been. There are a few things that Kyurem actually does better than Bax as well. The first of which is being able to go physical or special. Both of Kyurem's attacking stats are the same, despite special being more common. Kyurem did get access to both Dragon Dance and Ice Skill Spear in Gen 8 though, making Dragon Dance a very threatening prospect. Kyurem's number 2 advantage over Bax is its ability to massacre bulky waters, even pre-Terra. Freeze Dry makes Kyurem Knight unguardable in conjunction with Earth Power for Steel and Fire types. Freeze Dry, Ice Beam, Draco, and Earth Power make Kyurem one of the best pure wall breakers in the game. It can also rock with subsets to exploit bulky waters, though it will really miss Roost on these sets. Between physical DD, sub 3 attacks, sub 2 attacks protect, or even just choice specs, Kyurem is an incredibly threatening and versatile Pokemon in each and every matchup. I mean, this isn't even considering Terra, and I very much so expect Kyurem to be Terra banned everywhere soon, if not right away. Sliding in at number 2 on our list, we have our first and only starter, Serperior. No, not Blaziken. Stop allowing Speed Boost Blaziken, I told you. Ever since Terra was introduced, the draft community has been talking non-stop about how broken Terra Serperior is going to be. And honestly, I have to agree. We all know what Serp does. It glares things, then spams Contrary Leaf Storms, getting boost after boost. Sometimes there's a substitute or elite seed in between there, but that's mostly what it's going for. However, in a post-hidden power metagame, on paper Serp really struggled with grass resist. And grass resists are plenty. It's not known for its incredible type coverage offensively. Terra fixes that right up, letting Serp transform into a plethora of different type combinations. Ground, fire, water, electric, you name it, Serp can do it. Serp now has absolutely stellar type coverage. Speaking of stellar, you see what I did there? The new stellar typing actually works great on Serperior. Not only does Terra Stellar give it a nice Leaf Storm buff initially, which is great for Serp as it does kind of lack in that immediate power, but Stellar Terra Blast was made for our boy. Not only is this perfect neutral coverage into everything, but its negative effect of dropping attacks is actually positive for Serp, allowing it to contrary boost in another way. This is going to be the generation of Serperior. Between the Glare utility and the Snowball potential, it is going to absolutely steamroll teams. Before we get to our number 1 spot, let's go over some honorable mentions. Swampert is one of the most reliable rockers and pivots in Draft League history, and it just barely missed out on our list today. Another Hoenn that barely missed the list was pseudo-legendary Metagross. One of my favorite Pokemon ever, Metagross has always been a great rocker, AV pivot, and even breaker. This gen it got some great buffs in Psychic Fangs, Knockoff, Stone Edge, and Trailblaze. Expect Metagross to be even better this gen and a great sleeper Terramon. Sticking with the Psychic type theme, Reuniclus is our next honorable mention. This bulky monstrosity is known for being a noob killer that really forces you to draft the Dark type, unless you want to lose Double Dance, that is. But it's also great with just a Calm Mind, Life Orb Trick Room, or even AV regen sets. Lastly, we have Kingdra. This beast of a Swift Swimmer has finally made Rain viable again in a generation dominated by Sun up to this point. With that, we come to our number 1 spot on the list. That, of course, is going to be Latios. There really is something about Psychic types in Draft, huh? Another one of my absolute favorite Pokemon to use in the format, Latios switch-ins simply do not exist. I want you to think, deep, deep down, into the confines of your soul, when you think, drop a Draco. What do you think of? Yup, big Latios. Luster Purge also saw a huge buff this gen, making it finally usable as a signature move. It was buffed to 95 base power, which is stronger than Psychic by the way, and kept its 50% chance to drop Super Def like Seed Flare. Your Fairies and Steels do not check Latios anymore, unless you're holding the Covert Cloak. On top of an incredible special attack stat and stab combo, Latios also has incredible coverage. Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Aura Sphere for Steals, Surf, Energy Ball, really whatever coverage you might need, it gets it. It can also recover for longevity, Calm Mind and Set Up and Sweep, Dragon Dance to go for physical or mix, and really it just goes on and on. It's also so much bulkier than people give it credit for, giving it ample opportunity to complete whatever task it has been designated to. Also, yes, Latios got Flip Turn. Very cool, but why grab momentum when you can just click a button and knock something out? For those reasons, Latios is the best returning Pokemon in the Indigo Disk for Draft League. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Again, if you enjoyed, please consider dropping a sub if you haven't done so already. You might even think you're subbed and, you look down there and you're like, oh man, I'm not. I should sub to this guy and help him get to 3K. I would really appreciate it. Let me know what your favorite Pokemon coming back is, or what Pokemon you're most excited to use that's a returning Pokemon in particular. I think there's definitely some great ones that we didn't even mention. And I mean, there's some great ones I didn't even put on honorable mentions, like Latios. I didn't because I didn't want to spoil that Latios was going to be on the list as well. But there's definitely some good ones. Again, drop a like if you enjoyed, sub if you're new. I'd really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later, y'all.